I would like to take this opportunity to show some gratitude to those who got me to this point. I would like to keep this as brief as possible to keep Mr. Musanti's impeccable timing relatively accurate. Firstly, I would like to thank God for giving me the opportunity to come to this school and receive what might be the greatest education a man can go through. I would like to thank my family for always being supportive of my decisions throughout my tenure here. In particular, my brother Gino, a graduate of the class of 2010, for being my role model and the man in whose footsteps I constantly follow. My father, who actually decided to make the wise decision and didn't send his sons over the bridge to the Bavarian like he went, and I think he made the right decision. And my mom, for practically letting me live here throughout all the long nights during band and play season, and for always lending a helping hand, no matter the occasion. To all my band kids, barrel players, the football guys, my fellow forensics captain, Vingy and Jimmy, brother Hammond, WFBN anchor team Julio, Tom, and occasionally Dean, the fourth period launch hacky sack team, and of course my girlfriend who by stroke of luck came in today, and a little help from higher powers. To the other members of the government, Will and Greg, I don't know where you guys, but you want to throw up a hand. I would like to thank Monty, Mr. Monteleone, who cannot be here today because he's at Nationals in Florida with some of my forensics teammates, for giving me the opportunity to participate in forensics and in the play, which have more than helped me be able to stand here in front of you and give a speech. And I'd like to thank Mr. C for having me play at graduation since I was in 6th grade as practice, so that I would not have to play at graduation for my senior year. And lastly, I would like to thank all of my teachers that I had while I was here, because all the countless lessons that they taught me, I'm going to constantly implement in my daily routine. Especially Monsignor Valen, who has indirectly helped me write my speech. Now, to take a page out of his book, I say, Buon appuntamento, buon pomeriggio, buon pomeriggio, buenas tardes. Good afternoon, family and friends, board of directors, Monsignor Whalen, faculty members, my Farrell brothers of the class of 1965, and of course, my fellow graduates. As Mr. Cummings would likely say, today's the day that we leave our safe little community of well-mannered conservatives to enter a world of babbling liberals. Political opinions aside, we can't look past the fact that at a first glance the outside world may seem like a place full of babbling and nonsense to us. Our experiences here at Farrell have been explained through languages. As Paulo Coelho wrote in The Alchemist, listen to your heart, it knows all things, because it came from the soul of the world, and it will return there one day. The languages that we learn to speak all come from the heart. We are all connected through the words that we say and the messages behind them. Each one of us, as students here, took 2 languages, English and a foreign language. And the ability to communicate through different tongues is key to our survival when we go out into the world. For most of us, English is our first language, so it would be fitting to examine that first. Nelson Mandela, no relation to Mark Mandela, once said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. Those of you who went on the Easter trip can attest to this. They speak English everywhere in Europe. Whether it is in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, France, or Italy, business owners and workers learn the language in school just as we learn theirs here. This is a learning of necessity so that they can make a living and handle themselves as tourists and in business ventures. If you surprise them, however, with their own language, the experience changes. No longer are they just speaking to the 500th American who wants to know where the Vatican is, but rather they're speaking to someone like themselves, who just happens to live in a different country. We can form new connections and find opportunities internationally and even here in the United States just by using a few words we learned in class. Some of you seniors have it a bit easier than the rest of us. Since you took Spanish, which is the second most common language in 43 of the 50 states after English, you have a leg up on us. And speaking about being mindful of this ever-changing world around us, I want to take a few wise words from Pablo Picasso. Unfortunately, I was not one of the Spanish students here, so forgive me as I might butcher this next quote. Todo el mundo quiere comprender la pintura. ¿Por qué no hay ningún intento de comprender el canto de los pájaros? More coherently spoken in English, it translates to, everyone wants to understand art. Why doesn't anyone want to understand the song of the birds? Even a great artist such as Picasso understood the insignificance of such simple physical creations in comparison to the great wonders of nature and this earth. We are all connected by our link to God as His creations, not by what each person makes. We need to examine ourselves in the world in the grand scheme of things. The Italian poet Giacomo Leopardi once wrote, Un vocabolario può contenere solo una piccola parte del patrimonio di una lingua. A dictionary can only contain a small part of the vast tapestry of a language. We alone are much like dictionaries full of our own ways of defining the world around us, but no two dictionaries are the same. Webster and Oxford may have the same words, but each one has slightly different definitions. As viri fideli, we need to take our own dialect of the faithful man and apply it to the language of the world, the language of humanity. Because I decided to be grammatically correct with my Latin, thanks to Brother Wright, it would be fitting if I just threw in a Latin quote as well. Quid Latina dictum sit autem videtur, which oddly enough translates to, anything said in Latin sounds smarter. Disregarding the fact that my nerd level must be at an all-time high right now, it does bring up a good point. Latin was once the universal dominant language. It was something that could be spoken by anyone from different countries, priests, scientists, diplomats, you name it, so that they could understand one another. When everyone can speak directly to each other, from heart to heart, we are strong and unified under the same umbrella of reasoning and understanding. When we feel the same truth with our hearts, our physical bodies are left in disbelief. Antoine Saint-Exupéry, author of Le Petit Prince, or The Little Prince, hit the nail on the head with this when he said, "On ne voit bien qu'avec le cœur. L'essentiel est invisible pour les yeux." That which is important cannot be seen with the eyes, but it must be felt with the heart. We cannot just rely on the physical things that exist in this world to further our learning. We need to truly feel and learn from our experiences in our relations to one another in order to truly understand our role in this life. My Farrell brothers, this outstanding Catholic institution gave us students an advantage with the universality of the faith itself. As Monsignor has taught us, the word Catholic comes from the Greek word katholikos, meaning universal. We learn that God loves each and every one of us equally, and He made that love a part of us. As we venture off into the world today, it is imperative that we remember three things. One, the lessons that our teachers here instilled in us for our lives, particularly the languages. Two, the love that God shares with each one of us that allows us to reflect His image as the Imago Dei. And three, the fact that we were all Pharaoh men, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Congratulations, my Pharaoh brothers. You survived, man. Thank you.